and good evening to whenever you may be listening. Once again, it is me, Mr. Mont, and welcome back to my podcast. I would like to thank everyone who tuned in to my podcast last week. I managed to get 20 views on YouTube and 14 listens on SoundCloud, to which I am very thankful. It's not a lot, but small beginnings, I suppose. But hey, for all who is listening right now, I'd like to welcome you back. This week's podcast will follow a similar theme as to last time. We will see what new films have come out for this week, once again, take another look at the weather, find out some interesting sports news, and just a nice little news story to round off the day. Without further ado, let us begin. First up, when opening up this week, is the long-awaited sequel for Zoolander, titled Zoolander 2. I'm going to be frank with you, I knew nothing about the first Zoolander. I didn't even know if there was possible demand for a sequel, but heck, shows me wrong. I guess there was enough people who wanted Ben Stiller's Zoolander to carry on. He played a model who was known to be rather stupid, I guess. Okay, I guess I'll be frank with you, this is probably not my range of expertise, so I won't spend too much longer on it. Yeah, it's, for people who've seen Zoolander 1, I hear it might be like the last one, so heck, good. Give that a look, maybe. Next up on the list is How to Be Single. It's another chick flick movie following the lives of women. I didn't even know this movie was coming out. Man, you know, this certainly doesn't make that great podcast talk about movies that I don't know. You know what? Stop everything. Stop everything. You know what? Instead of just talking about movies that I haven't seen, I'm going to talk about a movie that I have seen and a movie that I have really liked. Okay, and for this I'm going to need to change up the music a little bit, so how about we get something a bit more upbeat to appropriately talk about this movie? Yeah, that sounds more like it. Right, so, this movie that I've seen this week is Deadpool. This is a Marvel-propertied movie that is basically the most outrageous and violent and extreme ridiculously movie that I've probably seen in a long time. It's hard to say. It's basically Ryan Reynolds plays this mercenary who undergoes this massively undergone experiment that ended up giving him superpowers, but it horrifically altered his face and drove him pretty nuts as well. So now he's out for revenge, as the person who has done this to him is also gone after his girlfriend. Now that is a pretty bad move on his part, as this guy does not take a single thing. Well, that was a dip in music. Okay, but basically, Deadpool holds no bards. If you're in his way, he's kicking your ass and most likely killing you. That's the main thing. This film is a hard R-rated movie, so you're probably not going to be able to bring your little kids. Sorry, Molly and Josh, you're going to have to wait for a bit longer for this film. So, anyway, movie. It's got a whole, but it's based in the X-Men universe, which so you'll be able to see some cameos from some different kinds of X-Men and references to the other movies. Deadpool, being a pretty nutty character, is also pretty aware that he is a character inside a comic book movie, so he'll end up putting out multiple references for the fact that he is in a movie, and it uses its jokes quite well as well. Man, there's a lot of dips in this song. Okay, anyway, so also, basically, Deadpool is an absolute blast. If comic book movies aren't your thing, but you want to see a big action movie and have a whole bunch of fun, get to see it with a few of your mates, heck, see it for Valentine's Day. If a girl wants to go see a movie and she recommends Deadpool, then you've got yourself a winner right there. I haven't met one yet, but hey, who knows? Good luck to anyone out there. Anyway, so that's my brief summary of Deadpool. I'd give it a good solid 8 out of 10, maybe even close to 9, but at the end of the day, it is a really cool movie. I'd recommend anyone to go see it as soon as you can. Whew, that was a lot of fun. Let's just hope for no copyright strikes or anything. Well, it was talking over it and there's no lyrics, so who knows? It might be in the clear. Alright, anyway, now we've finished our movie talk, it's time to move on to the weather. Alright, time to open the app. Well, before opening the app, let's talk about how things have gone this week. It's been super cold this week. I've had to de-ice my car a few times, and it's been quite frosty in the evening. Make sure you have your ice scrapers and even pack up on the de-icing sprayers for anyone who needs it. Trust me, I'm running out. I'm going to need to get more of it soon. Alright, weather. Let's see what's going on in old Bristol town. There is a chance of cloudiness for tomorrow, and bits of sun. But Monday and Tuesday might be sunny. That is quite good. But Monday evening might be -3 degrees. Ooh dear, that is also not that great of a thing. But the rest of the week looks like there's going to be rain. And what about London? Similar grounds, but also lots more rain. Very unfortunate. Be sure to carry your umbrellas, Londoners, if there's any of you. Edinburgh, Saturday looks like it's going to be frosty. Going to be quite a bit of frost going up around in the morning, even. Ooh, heck, that's not good. About 30%, 70%, and then 70% rain midday. Alright, anybody in Edinburgh, just keep that in mind. And that's all the places I have on my app. Not really the greatest weather reference, but hey, every news podcast would probably be best with a weather reference. For anyone viewing this outside of England, I can't help you. How's it going in America? Is it still cold? Probably. I'm pretty pleased with this podcast. I'm doing a lot less takes. Alright, anyway, moving on to the next point. What is next? Oh, yes, that's right, sports. Looks like we've got some pretty interesting news this week. A certain Cristiano Ronaldo could be priced out of his move to Real Madrid. This is interesting news. Footballers are known for having pretty expensive lifestyles and pretty expensive prices for if other teams would want to purchase them for their team. Sounded like that he had a contract that he was expected to go to, move to Madrid for the Spanish league. But it turns out that if things end up being bought up, and if Manchester would want to keep him around, is it Manchester? Yep. He's spent quite a while in Manchester, and he's proven pretty good for their team, it sounds like. But if they put up a good enough offer, he might stick around. And whatever, will that be a case? I don't know, and I don't really know that much about football. Once again, talking about stuff I don't really know about, but gotta keep spicing and changing these things up. All around things have been going okay. So, that is a brief summary of sports. And this podcast seems to be going well. Ooh, we've been going for about 7 minutes now. Quite nice. So, hopefully things are going well to anybody who's listening. Like I've mentioned before, if anybody feels like giving a request in the comments for a possible news subject, or even just simple questions to ask, feel free to leave it in the comments below. And now, to close off the day, I shall be talking about the big news story that I found this week. And it is a pretty interesting news story. Do you like reading newspapers? Who wouldn't? A nice little way to keep updated on the news, find out what is happening in the world. And one of the leading papers of the UK is The Independent. But however, they may not have that many prints anymore, as they are no longer as they will starting up in what appears to be March time, they will cease to print their papers, as they are moving to the digital format. You will be getting news since news nowadays you can find on the internet and on iPads, and so you can move it around that way, probably for subscription fees. Sounds like an interesting move and seems appropriate, seeing as papers nowadays, as while occasionally they get still bought, not many people would actually need them. With the digital age and going around, able to get information whenever you please. It is basically another part in the world is moving forward in the digital age now, and we're gonna end up having to see stuff like this happen in the future. Heck, Kindle's already around, so books are almost becoming obsolete. Give it a few more about 20 more years, we won't have anything written on paper anymore. It'll be a sad, sad day when that happens, but things have got to move forward. Times have got to change. And we've got to keep ahead of the curve. And with that, we are now hearing our closing music theme. I would like to once again thank everyone for listening. I'd also thank for Purple Planet for allowing me to use these songs. That if you want to listen to a few of these pieces of music, you can go to their website and listen to this stuff. Very nice free domain background music. And also, for credit is the song X Gun Give It To Ya by DMX. I play the instrumental version, just so to point that out to avoid any copyright issues. Hopefully we won't need to do stuff like that, but I feel like that little piece there was appropriate enough for that piece of the podcast that I was talking about. Hope everybody has a good week, and I will see you again next time. hope everybody has a good week. And I'm running out of things to say. So, this has been me, Mr. Mont, signing off once again. Thank you, and goodbye.